What is up guys, welcome back to the channel, and as we are moving into the last week of this month, it is time for us to check out another episode of top 10 brand new completely free to play games you can play right now during the month of October. This month is packed with some high quality indie titles alongside some very popular releases as well. So whether you're into action games, shooter games, casual games, RPG games, there are so many games to check out, and of course all of these games are 100% free to play. You can simply go ahead and download them right now on Steam. Alright, I'm starting with an awesome little game you can jump in right now, especially if you're a fan of side-scrolling action style of shooter games. And this one is a brand new game called Dead Switch Combat. It's a pretty fun free-to-play 2D multiplayer shooter. Think of it like a side-scrolling mix of Call of Duty and old-school Flash game, but with a bit of a modern-day touch. The gameplay is somewhat fast-paced and you can jump into team matches, survival modes, even mess around with vehicles. It does look like a very simple little game on the surface, but there's a big focus on customization. There's tons of weapons, attachments and loadout to experiment with, and you can even build your own maps using the in-game level editor, which is a nice bonus if you like to create something up. Visually it got that retro 2D vibe but feels smooth and clean, and also the controls are tight enough to make the gunplay satisfying. I'm someone who absolutely love this style of old school retro style shooters. Remind me of games like Contra, which I used to play a lot back in the day. All in all, it's a fun and casual arcade shooter you can jump in right now for absolutely free, and also you don't have to worry about the system requirements at all. This thing will run on any potato system you can find these days. Alright, next up we got Spray and Pray, a game that I talk a bit about in one of my previous videos as well. And right off the bat you will notice this one is a fast-paced free-to-play boomer style shooter where you play as Justinian, a priest with dual revolvers. And your main object is very simple. You simply have to clean up this demon-infested cathedral, cleaning up these hell spawns and fallen angels. The movement is actually very satisfying. You are dashing, jumping, looping around enemies. It leans into that old-school run-and-gun vibe, but obviously with a bit of a modern-day touch. And this game was actually released onto Steam as a student project, and I'm honestly very impressed with this one. It's a single player game, but don't expect like a 3-4 hour campaign. It will only take you around maybe half an hour, maybe an hour to complete at max. So if you want a short punchy dose of demon blasting and old school first person fun, I absolutely recommend you guys to download and give it a try on this one. And it is totally free to play, so you are not risking anything at all. Alright, our next game came as a real surprise to me, and it's actually released while I'm making this video, and it is Bullet Force. I'm sure many of you guys already played this game before. It's an extremely popular browser FPS game finally releasing on Steam, and it's honestly looking sharper than ever before. And if you remember the browser version, this is essentially the same. The gameplay is classic multiplayer FPS. You got deathmatch, team deathmatch, free fall, conquest mode, and whole lot of guns and attachments. On the browser build, you can pick more than 100 plus weapons and customize your loadouts, camos, all those sort of stuff. But at the moment on the Steam version, I believe there are only about 60 weapons available. And it also runs much better on the Steam version with better resolution and higher frame rate. I'm someone who spent decent amount of time playing the browser version, and this is me jumping back into the Steam game just purely for the nostalgia factor. It's nothing special, but still pretty fun to play. It is technically not a brand new game, but I still feel like it's worth mentioning because a lot of you guys are interested in these low-end, low-specs games that literally works on any potato PC, and now you have another game to add to your library. Moving on to a very cool little indie student project that I recently played, and it is a game called Skate. It's a fun little arcade first-person platformer game where you play as Abe, a genetically enhanced ape trapped in this sterilized testing lab. The core gameplay loop is very short and punchy. You can slide around hazards, ground pound enemies, and throw objects at walls, and everything is physics driven. The movement is actually going to be your best weapon, and these levels are designed like fast trials rather than sprawling open worlds. Because this is a very small student project, the experiences last around 15 to 20 minutes, so don't expect like a huge campaign, but honestly it's still very much fun to play around with. It's a perfect little game to jump into if you want something very quick, weird and punchy, and if you go on with the right mindset. Since it's a very short free experience, there is no major investment required, you might as well give it a try and have some fun. I recently tried out this new indie horror game. Man, for a free game, it's punched way above its weight. In this game, you play as Luca, a young boy staying overnight in his grandmother's house. You think that it's going to be another quiet night, but everything feels a bit off. You receive strange phone calls, odd noises, and the house shifting in a subtle way. And also the game leans heavily into that psychological dread rather than non-stop jump scares. Gameplay-wise, it's a first-person exploration and puzzle-driven. You walk around the house, interacting with objects, objects, solving small puzzles, and listening to ambient clues and letting the tension build in. The menus, UIs, the visual adapt, it's got that VHS inspired aesthetic, which gives it a bit of a grainy, creepy vibe, which I'm a big fan of. And it's going to be a very short single player experience you can finish in one sitting, and it's absolutely worth trying out, especially if you are like indie horror style games that won't take hours to complete. It is totally free to download on Steam right now. Alright, our next game is for the fans of turn-based action RPG style of games, and it's a brand new one called Kaiju Number 8, the game. Obviously, gameplay-wise, it's a turn-based RPG/gacha hybrid where you build your own squad of Defense Force soldiers and go on against the monsters Kaiju. You simply pick your team and use their skills and expose Kaiju's core and then launch a big ultimate attack. You guys know I don't watch anime, so I have no idea about the story or the characters, just the general lore of this game, but the mechanics sounds okay if you're into this sort of games, the customizing gear, crafting items, and managing progression system. But obviously, if you're a fan of the original story, you'll probably enjoy the callbacks, the characters you know, and the original narrative bits. But if you're playing purely for the deep narrative and huge campaigns, keep in mind this is more like a mobile style free-to-play experience ported onto PC. So all in all guys, if you're a fan of turn-based action RPG style of games, this one is absolutely for you. It's totally free to play and also single player as well, and right now have about 1,200 people playing, and for a single play games that is pretty decent in my opinion, so definitely download and give it a try if you are a fan of this style of games. Moving on to another awesome multiplayer game that just released onto early access, and that is called Wildcards. And this one is actually a pretty interesting blend of genres. Gameplay wise, you're diving into a 2v2 arena battle where each player pick a champion, build a deck of summon cards, and then fight in real time. So you're juggling deck management, strategy, and also the skill in the arena, stuff like moving your champions, using abilities and positioning. So it's not just a card game, there is actual action mixed in. There is tons of cards you can collect and create your deck with, and all these champions come with their own unique set of skills and abilities. It's purely a multiplayer PvP game focused toward more competitive side. So if you like that side of games, this one is absolutely for you. But remember, the game is still on early access, and at the moment there's not a lot of people know about this game yet. So finding matches online can be somewhat difficult due to limited play count, so something to keep in mind. Moving on to a brand new game for the fans of large-scale naval combat games, and this one called World of Sea Battle. In this game, you drop into a free-to-play MMO naval world set in the golden age of sails, where you command ships, trading goods, forming guilds, and duke it out in the high seas. Gameplay-wise, you'll be sailing historical ships from smaller schooners to big galleons and engage in both PvE and PvP battles, taking part in guild wars, and also shaping up the economy driven by players. In terms of visual, it's not the most impressive looking naval game that I've seen recently, but in terms of tactics, gameplay and features, it is much more rich than some of the more paid AAA games that I've seen in the last couple of years. So if you like map exploration, naval tactics, upgrading your fleet and working with others online, this one ticks a lot of the boxes. So if you're someone who loves playing this style of old school naval games with some open MMO elements, this one is absolutely for you. And at the moment, the game is somewhat popular on Steam, having more than 3,000 plus concurrent players, so honestly not a bad time to jump in and have some fun. Moving on to one of the most popular brand new games to come out this month, and that is none other than Blue Protocol Star Resonance. It is super popular on Steam right now, having close to like 40,000 daily concurrent players. And when you jump into the game, the first thing that you realize is the visual and the aesthetic appeal. It's an anime style MMORPG set in the bright fantasy world called Magna. You create your own hero, and the game lets you choose roles like tanks, healers, or damage, even swap styles in game. Gameplay wise, it mixes open world exploration with action MMO combat. You'll be running around gathering herbs, mining crystals, fishing, participating in dungeons and world boss battles, and the combat has that real-time dodging and flashy combos and all that, and gives a bit of a Final Fantasy kind of vibe. You're basically a hero in this world, exploring, teaming up, and also facing threats, but it's not heavily story driven, I would say. It leans more toward your story in this MMO world rather than a tight narrative. There's a lot of good things going on with this game, but right now at the moment the game is sitting on mixed reviews on Steam. Many people enjoy the visuals and the concept, but some have issues with monetization, time gating, content depth, and some regional restrictions, which is something to keep in mind. Alright, before moving on to the top spot, I want to mention quickly about an upcoming free-to-play battle royale for the Battlefield 6, and it's rumored to come out in 28th of October in a couple of days' time. So if you're watching this video a few days down the line, the game might already be out, but of course take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, this upcoming mod is called Battlefield Red Sec. It's a free-to-play battle royale mod featuring 100 players. You can jump into both solo, duo, trio, and also on 4-player squads. So if you're a fan of Battle Royale games, this is going to be a huge launch, probably the next big thing. So definitely keep your eye on this one. Hopefully we will see more official information in the upcoming few days. Alright, number 1 spot, we get an awesome indie first-person shooter that came out of nowhere, and that is Darkenstein 3D. So if you're a fan of retro-style first-person shooter games, this one hit the sweet spot. It inspired from the old Wolfenstein games for sure. It's totally single-player and also got a very interesting story. So you're basically a drifter whose dogs got taken away by Nazi forces in a raid, and you are out here for revenge. And this is in 1940s Germany. Everything is gone sideways, so you gotta fight your way through while uncovering some of the secrets. And the game surprisingly have a long campaign this time. Will take you around maybe 4 or 5 hours to complete. The mechanics leans more into fast movements, dodging bullets, hunting down keys, some puzzle elements as well. There are so many weapons, pistols, shotguns, SMGs, grenades, RPGs, all those sort of stuff. And we all know this type of single player first person shooter games are really hard to come by, especially on the free to play market. And this one got a great story, beautiful art style, tons of fun engagement, and I recommend you guys to download and give it a try and have some fun. Well, that's pretty much wrap up today's video, guys. I hope you guys found some interesting free-to-play titles to play during the month of October. And also let me know down below in the comment section what is your favorite game from our today's list. And also, guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned to the channel as we cover pretty much all brand new game releases on every single month. I'll catch you guys soon in the next one. Stay safe.